Howdy Banger fans, Blayne Smith welcoming you back to Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly discussion about Men at Work's hit song, Overkill. So without further ado, here's Overkill by Men at Work. I'm up to my old tricks again. We're talking about the new album from Venom Prison. It's called Erebos. It's out today, February 4th on Century Media Records. Formed in 2014, Venom Prison would actually pretty quickly go on to become a band to watch in the metal world, even winning Metal Hammer's Best New Band Award in 2017. They're a Welsh band, though lead singer Larissa Stupar is originally from Russia, and they play a mix of death metal and hardcore, but more on that later. Erebos marks their fourth release, which is a pretty decent output, especially for a younger band, and it's also their first release since getting called up to the big leagues, because after releasing 3 albums with Prosthetic Records, who we love, they're now releasing on Century Media Records, who we also actually love. Can they hack it with the pros, or is this album gonna kick them back to the farm team? Let's find out. In the bio, you will note that I said they played a mix of death metal and hardcore, but I did not say they play deathcore. And this is an interesting debate, and you know I love genre minutia debates. Because while deathcore fans seem to enjoy Venom Prison just fine, when people talk about them or write about them, they refer to them as a death metal band and mention their roots in hardcore rather than explicitly calling them a deathcore band. Why is that? Is it to pad out word counts for their editor to take up extra time on YouTube? No, it's just because, I don't know, they're not. There are absolutely excerpts of this record you could cut out and play for someone and tell them it's a deathcore record by Venom is My Prison, because if it doesn't have a 4-word name, it is not a deathcore band. But the overall impression I'm left with when we're at the end of our 49-minute runtime is a death metal band. A modern death metal band, certainly, and one that's experimenting in the genre, but a death metal band for sure. And I think that's because the thing that's really cool about this record is that I could cut out little segments of it and convince you it was almost any of death metal's subgenres. If you've heard the second single, Pain of Osis, you know that they have some death doom action going on in there, sounding very reminiscent of Catatonia's B-side Unfurl. It's also a very technical record with some fast hand fingered wizardry happening just straight up all the time. Hell, Larissa even hits us with a perfect ugh on Gorgon Sisters. And none of this is divided on a song-by-song basis either, which is usually something that makes me complain about a record. Comfort of Complicity starts off sounding straight up ripped from the At the Gates catalog and ends in this positive-sounding double guitar progressive section. Have a listen. This means the whole thing doesn't sound like a compilation, but an actual proper blending of styles. And that's why I think this is one of the strongest tracks on the album. So Ash, Ben and Ash or Ben. I can't really mention either of you specifically directly because I'm not sure who's playing who at what time, but good guitars, both of you. And since we're over here speaking about strongest tracks on the album, let's head on over and rap a bit about album closer Technologies of Death. You start with one of the more straightforward-y, death metal-y tracks on the album, with even Larissa's vocals shifting to a more traditional but slightly higher metal register than her usual lower hardcore style, before it gets low and slow, and then absolutely kicks into nonsense high gear for this absolutely wild episode. Hate intros and outros, but I love an appropriate ending track, because with an appropriate ending track, you can do a massive album send-off and then toss 30 seconds of strings on at the end like they do, and boom, you have a real song, not some nonsense. But there is an intro track, though. It's not a complete sin, because it actually features actual band members playing the actual instruments they actually play on the record, but they chant the album name, and I don't know, man, why are we faffing about when there's all this great content ahead? It doesn't me the way the rest of the album does. The rest of the album is good, except a little bit is not as good. So Golden Apples of Hesperides starts with, I don't even know how to describe this shit, but anytime anyone does this, it sounds exactly the same to me, and I hate it. Play it. Admittedly, it's 20 seconds of one song, but it was just the only part of the record where I wasn't like, damn, and instead I was like, Spirit Box called, they want their shitty music back. I'm kidding, relax. This is definitely another one of those bands I'm comfortable slapping the old Future of Metal sticker onto. And unlike most of the other bands that I slap the Future of Metal sticker onto, they managed to sound like the future of metal, but not lose the aggression that the genre's underground loves. So I'm super on board. The whole band really hits hard, and especially quickly, someone cover Chris Barnes' ears. Modern death metal vocalist Larissa Stupor. She is a very important part about what makes this band so great, and on this record, she really expresses a lot of range within death metal vocals. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I can be a little particular. So when someone that's kind of outside my standard fare gets me going the way this record does, I know it's a real special record. I know it's gonna make a big impact, and I think it's gonna make a big impact with you guys too. And that's why I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 Greek skulls. I don't know what a Greek skull is, but I don't know, the whole album's Greek. People like Greek stuff. They do it a lot. But before the end of the video comes the shoutouts. And hey, speaking of shoutouts, if you like finding out about more bands, did you know over on the Patreon, our tip sheet, we give a tip sheet every month with additional bands to listen to, now comes with a video off the top of me giving you 5 more albums. So, hey, 5 more albums there and 2 more here. You owe us a couple of bucks. So, you listened to a death metal review of me about a death metal band that isn't just old school stuff. So, let me just give you some of that as a treat. Sepulchral's From Beyond the Burial Mound on Soulseller Records comes out February 25th, and that's got some great deep beat rhythm to the drums, and it's some more classic stuff. And also, HAMMR is releasing Eternal Possession on Hell's Headbangers February 11th. If you like that Death HAMMR record I talked about in Metal Monthly, this is sort of one-man Death HAMMR. And Death HAMMR is a 2-man thing, so we're running out of men here. And that's it. Just, get in the comments. Let me know what you think of the record. Any other records you're excited about? Talk to me. Chat with me. Get liked. Get subscribed. Just press the subscribe button. Don't smash it. You'll probably break your computer if you smash that button. I don't know why people keep telling you to do that.